Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us. My name is Tawana Rivers. This is the 10K Project, and this is tonight's Bet on Black pitch. Thank you guys for joining us one more time as we circle around and embrace another Black founder and help him get to the next phase of his journey by assisting him in raising the capital that is needed. And so I have here this evening with us G-Day. G-Day is with Keexs. I am going to look at the campaign page, walk through that. That's what we do every week. And then I'm going to turn it over to him so that he can tell you all about his project. So let me share my screen. Is it not sharing? I'm sorry, guys. Hold on one moment.
Do you need me to share it?
Yeah, thank you. For some reason, it's not shared. I see it's on my screen, but it's not letting me share that particular screen. Guess you can't have good lighting and the share capability all in one night, huh? gotta pick one. All right, thank you so much, T. Okay, so this is We Funder campaign. You guys know we're going to be putting the link, the custom link that we created in the chat throughout the evening. So that's the link you want to click on to come back to the campaign page. That's the link you're going to want to share with your family and friends when you share this campaign. This is a family and friends round that we've been invited to. So this is only the second time we've been invited to a family and friends round. We feel honored. A little joke I made the last time we were invited to a family friends round is we are the rich aunties and uncles, right? So we get that invite to help this campaign get to the next phase. There's 15 days left in this particular phase of the campaign. And then as long as G-Day raises the amount necessary to move the campaign to public. What's that amount, sir?
G-Day, you're muted.
You're mute.
My apologies. The minimum is $50,000 to get to the public phase in terms of reservations.
Okay, wonderful.
Yes.
Very good. All right. This is a future equity deal. So we're very familiar with those, right? So you can see that here, future equity. There's some early bird bonuses, so that's always good. So the first 100,000 will invest in the safe with a 6.9 million valuation. So you see that valuation is lower for the first 100K raised, right? There are also some investor perks, right? So this campaign is still in the testing the waters phase, right? You have not filed your Form C yet, right? And
Correct.
So this is still in the testing the waters phase. And you guys, for those of you who have been around, you know what it is, but I'll just kind of cover it briefly for anyone who may be new. So testing the waters is exactly what it sounds like, right? You kind of dip your toe in the tub, make sure the water's not too hot. This is exactly that. Founders, based on the law, are allowed to launch their campaigns to see what the interest is, right, out there in the universe. And Once they get a good feel for how many people would be interested in their campaign based on the reservations they receive, then they typically file their Form C so that those reservations turn into investments. So if you invest in this campaign while it is, or any campaign, while it is in its testing the waters phase, you are actually reserving kind of a seat for investment. You're not actually investing, but as soon as that Form C is filed, that's the SEC form that makes any equity crowdfunding raise official. As soon as that Form C is filed, what would happen is G-Day and his team would send you an email to reconfirm your reservation into an investment, right? So if you decide to reserve this evening or throughout the next week or so, and you then get that email to convert it to an investment, you want to follow up with that email. You only have a certain amount of time to do that. And we want to be mindful of that, because you also don't want G-Day to get an influx of dollars from other people who are legitimately investing, and you forget to confirm and your reservation is not held indefinitely. So you want to make sure you're watching those, you're looking at your email and responding accordingly. Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Thank you so much for that. And I am going to turn it over to G-Day and Josh to talk about Keexs.
Thanks a lot for the kind introductions, Tawana, and for sharing the WeFunder page. My name is Babajide Ikpaye. I'm the co-founder and CEO at Keexs. Keexs is the first innovative and socially responsible footwear brand out of Africa. It started off with a personal challenge. I started wearing my dad's shoes when I was about 9. And then I lost both my parents to a car accident at the age of 11. But as I grew older, so did my shoe size. And in 2015, I decided to solve that problem because I had become a shoe size 14. But I didn't just want to solve my shoe problems. I decided to look at a way to also give back to community just the same way I was raised, because I was raised by my grandparents, uncles, and aunties. So, the idea of starting off a for-profit social enterprise was born. I went to Netherlands where I studied how to make sneakers from scratch. And then we got onto Kickstarter in 2015, raised $20,000. And following that, the brand has gone through stages of growth. So I'm going to be sharing with you guys a quick pitch run. So basically what we've realized is there is a challenge, and the challenge is a lot of Africans and people of African descent, feel the need to connect back to the motherland, to Africa. And there's usually no, straightforward vehicle to doing that. But the Africa that they're trying to connect to also has its own challenges. There's child poverty, education challenges in Africa. And so what we've done at Keexs basically is to tell stories with our shoes about Africa and our roots, and to inspire our customers. Whilst in the process of them buying the products, they also help us to fund social-oriented projects. And the approach we've taken to that is what we call a tribe-led approach. We work with some of our tribe members who socially extend the product or share the product story, and they in turn are able to share discount codes with friends and family who buy the products. And then they know that every time these products are being sold, they get a kickback in terms of a commission. And also we end up donating towards sending a child to school. So every time a pair of Keexs is sold, it helps us to keep a child in school in Africa for a week or more. And for those who are tribe leaders in their various communities, the fact that they get a commission from the sale can also be, channeled into social projects in their own immediate communities as well. And that way we're able to achieve win-win. Keexs is also going through an evolution right now in terms of our product portfolio. We are upgrading products and also looking to more sustainable and eco-friendly products. So for example, we started a conversation with a company called Indoso recently. They use a lot of recycled tires to make soles for shoes. And this is also helping to clean up the environment. So we are very focused on being a purpose-driven organization that cuts across people, planet, and profit. Our target market has been predominantly females. People of African descent have been those who have led the demand for the products. For example, shortly after the BLM initiative in 2020, we suddenly noticed almost a 10x demand for our products from the US in certain key cities, New York, DC, Maryland, Chicago, Atlanta, Miami, and of course, I had the opportunity of coming to the States to basically go through the process of meeting with these customers. So we had a lot of pop-ups, experiential events where we basically started to engage with a lot of these early stage customers. And we took a lot of feedback from them and used that to also begin to develop our business model. So our business model involves, one, working with our tribe to also co-create products. So we get a lot of feedback from them in terms of what do they want to see in terms of products and how we want to be able to design those products effectively. For example, I was at an event about 2 Sundays ago called the Sneaker Exit here in Atlanta, and we had thousands of people coming over to the event to basically engage with the brand, get feedback at the early stages. So once we work with our customers or our tribe to get into the developmental process, we go back into the manufacturing, and then we have 4 models in terms of how we get our products to market, or you could call them channels as well. The first is customization and private label. We have worked with a lot of multinationals. For example, we worked with Pepsi, we've worked with Johnny Walker, we've designed products for them, custom-made products, which they intend to use for marketing purposes. We also work with our tribe, who are influencers that basically share the product story, share the discount codes, get the product sold, and they don't get a kickback. And we know that every time they're doing this also, we're contributing to social projects in their community as well as back in Africa. We also sell through our website, which is a global e-commerce based site. And we also have B2B relationships. So for example, we're in stores like Fred Siegel, we're here in Atlanta as well, we're in New York, we're in Chicago, we're in Africa, in 2 countries in Africa, we're in South Africa, we're in Nigeria. We also have some traces of retail in Ghana. As a matter of fact, the first retail partner we got was out of Guadeloupe. So there's a lot of opportunity to grow this brand, not just in the US, but also globally. However, we decided to beachhead this funding round to help drive the retail and distribution in the US. In terms of products, Keexs started off as a fashion-oriented brand, which again tells stories using a lot of African inspired art and designs. And towards the end of 2020, we decided to pivot towards more of an athleisure type of line. And this is also in response to how consumers and our tribe have begun to adapt to post-COVID lifestyle, where people want to wear more sporty and leisure type wear. So you can begin to see that some of our slides here have our African print. These are some of the new designs that we've come up with, and we intend to vary these products in terms of designs. But this gives you a rough idea of the footwear, apparel, and accessories range that we're looking to extend into. In terms of our market size, aside the global market, which is constantly growing at 3 to 5% per annum, when we zoom into the US market, we have a potential market size of approximately 60 million people that spend an average of $70 a year on a pair of sneakers. And with proper marketing and having a good tribe-led social related selling network, we believe that we can tap into potentially a $400 million market over time. Our go-to-market strategy involves, one, working with our tribe, like I mentioned earlier on. Our tribe are our customers. They in turn wear the products, they promote it, they get a commission, they share discount codes, everybody wins, community wins, customers win, and the influencers also win. And of course, we also work extensively with the traditional methods, which are the basic digital marketing, the Facebooks, the TikTok marketing campaigns. And we go to trade shows where we meet with retail chains and distributors who can take our products into a wider array of channels in terms of sales. In terms of traction to date, we have generated close to $400,000 cumulatively over 5 years. We beachheaded from Nigeria, so Nigeria is not as large as the US in terms of consumer disposable income and addressable market. And so we are basically pivoting into the US market now to basically ramp up on our sales goals. In terms of the brand recognition as well, we have been featured on several platforms, from CNN African Voices to Forbes to the Atlanta Black Star, Cosmopolitan. A lot of these have been around Black-owned companies or African brands that people around the world should support. We're also currently in a global accelerator program here in the States. It's called New Chip. And they have given us a warrant option of $250,000. This is again tied to our ability to raise the funding we want to do on WeFunder or any other bulk type of funding. And as well on the WeFunder platform, we have over $100,000 in reservations currently, which has been over the last 2 months approximately. In terms of our use of funds, majority of our funds is basically targeted at growing the US market, achieving product market fit, and then also working with a company called Indoso that I mentioned earlier on towards setting up a recycling and slide production factory in Africa. And ultimately, the goal is to drive the funding that we raise now to take us to the next round of funding, which would be a Series A type of funding. The team constitutes of myself. I have had over 17 years of corporate experience as well as entrepreneurial experience. I've worked in 2 multinationals. One is called Guinness, which is a global manufacturing company, and the other is called Total, which is an oil and gas servicing company. I've also been involved with 2 startups, one being a technology firm and the other one being a consulting company. And I also attended a training program in the Netherlands on footwear design and innovation. My colleague Josh is also here on the Zoom presentation today. He has a lot of experience working with a lot of high growth companies here in the United States and basically has played a lot of CFO related functions. We're also in discussions to hiring a chief revenue officer, and we also have someone on our sales and marketing team who has quite a bit of experience across different markets and in the US as well. We've also put together a very interesting advisory board, from a Nike former executive to a leading innovation expert, as well as a brand and licensing expert. And some of you might know who Omar Epps is as well. He's been extremely instrumental in helping us broker some relationships, for example, the Fred Siegel relationship. And he's always available to work with us, especially as we try to scale up our operations and recruiting talent and people who can influence the growth of the brand. In terms of our competition, we have decided to pitch strongly against the likes of Allbirds. And the reason is because Allbirds has a similar history in terms of timeline of growth. We started off from Africa, but they started off here in the United States. In terms of our positioning, one of the key differentiators is our tribe-led lifestyle approach, our one-for-one campaign around educating a child in school, and also around our innovation-led approach in terms of open innovation, working with our tribe and our customers to co-create the next lines of products. I'll also be sharing with you the Allbirds case study. As you can see, Allbirds has gone through about 6 rounds of funding over a 5-year period, starting from a seed round, which is similar to where we are right now. And then they went through multiple rounds. And in November last year, they decided to go public and are currently valued at $4.1 billion. So we intend to go through a similar trajectory in terms of our approach to growth. So we're asking you to join our tribe and let us create a positive impact together with a fist bump. Our logo represents the impact we want to create, and it's also a way to celebrate the impact as we created by giving each other a fist bump every time you see somebody else wearing the product, and also sharing the story of the brand. Thank you very much.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so very much. All right, guys, go ahead and put those Q&As in the Q&A section so that we can keep track of them. See them popping in.
Whilst they're having the Q&A, I'll show them some of the products. These
Oh,
are
nice.
slides.
We love to see stuff.
People
Yes.
love these slides. These are going to be the next bunch of products we're going to be introducing shortly. Very hot right now. We've also got some of our existing sneakers. This is one called the Fela Kuti inspired collection. Fela was like a Bob Marley, Marcus Garvey, James Brown of West Africa, Nigeria. He actually was going to be inducted into the Hall of Fame, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I think he was going neck to neck with some other American artists. So he's the one who is driving the popular Afrobeats genre of music that is now gaining a lot of global recognition. So this is the Fela story. And we've got a few others. We've got the Love Notes, which is an ancient writing system from southeastern Nigeria. A lot of this was borrowed by the Black Panther movie. It's called Insibidi, and this is called the Love Note. So this refers to love and unity, and that's a sign. Some people think it's Under Armour, but this actually predates the European writing system, and it's from southeastern Nigeria. So just sharing with you guys a few of the products.
Hey, Gita, we've got a question. Can I read it to you?
Oh, yes,
from the,
please.
chat? Hey, everybody.
go ahead.
Nice to meet you all. Ayana asks, where is your manufacturing based? In Nigeria? Given supply chain concerns, can you speak about your distribution network, primary network, secondary network?
Josh, you're not going to take my job tonight.
Oh, sorry. I was ready to jump in.
You're not going to take my job, Josh.
Okay, so currently we have outsourced our manufacturing through the Dutch partnership I started off with in Netherlands. Majority of it is going to Asia right now. And part of the funding requirement that we have is to set up an assembly unit in Nigeria. So part of the funding requirement is to be able to begin to start the local production in Nigeria. In terms of the secondary supply chain, Josh, do you want to take that?
I just want to emphasize the production in Nigeria part, I think first, because that does bear a little bit more. So the manufacturing is done in Asia right now because we're new, and that's where shoes are manufactured. Shoes are actually relatively technically difficult to manufacture. When we've spoken with a lot of people, when we build the Keexs brand story and talk to the authenticity and the connection and the meaning, we found that having a Nigerian manufacturing presence is very important and resonates with a lot of people. So we've built into the plans that we want to take it step by step. Nigeria has a number of issues that people are aware of with power, continuity, that we're going to go there and take it step by step of manufacturing or really assembling, the easiest things where it's more manual human labor, and then we'll build up over time. And this actually matches, going back to the Allbirds example, which is a more, their sort of message is ecologically based versus ours is more culturally and helping society. They added ecological things and environmentally sourced stuff, but just improved it slowly over time. And that's kind of our goal with the Nigerian manufacturing. We'll build in, get it to work, and add more complexity over time. But I think it's a very important part. For the was the question on sourcing network or distribution network? We think was it. Sorry, let's go back to the answer question. It was distribution network. So distribution, our primary method of distribution is really from our own website, Keexs.com. Everybody can go there right now. G-Day's actually just put a ton of effort into redesigning it, and I think it looks great. And so primary method is if we market through influencers, through the network, people will be directed to our website and we'll do e-commerce shipping to people. Secondarily, I think that will be 80% of our sales, if would be a good number to think about. Secondary distribution network would be partnering with retail chains, just selling through other stores. Like G-Day mentioned, we are in Fred Siegel now, and finding other methods. But it would be the e-commerce website first, and then partnering with other retailers is sort of a standard distribution model through stores. So.
Very good. I've got a question. What's the price point?
Price point currently is starting from approximately $40 for these to about 110. That is the range that we're working with at the moment. But I would say that the average price point over time is going to be approximately $69 because we've tried to match what the average consumer spends annually on a pair of shoes or sneakers.
Very good. Got a couple of questions in the chat. I typically don't read these, but I'm feeling generous tonight. Make sure you put your questions in the Q&A because they get lost in that chat. Stephanie says, will all production move to the continent?
Can she be specific as regards to what continent? Is she referring to Africa?
Yes, she means Africa. Yes.
So the answer to that is, in the short term, no. In the long term, yes. In the short term, we would outsource production. There will be some component assembly in Africa. It's going to be more labor intensive, so we can create a lot of jobs. And then gradually we'll begin to automate as we scale on the production side. The machinery that is required to invest in manufacturing is extremely expensive. Take, for example, when you're talking about making rubber molds for shoes, you need a rolling pin machine that is running almost into $1 million. And we don't want to take all the money right now into manufacturing. Rather, we want to focus on the distribution, achieving product market fit, and then gradually backward integrate as we continue to raise funds to then scale up the manufacturing side of things.
Very good. And then the other question I had personally was, can you talk a little bit about the materials used?
Okay. Currently, we use a lot of vegan leather. And also part of the components used for the outsole is also recycled. There's a lot more drive, especially around these slides, to be able to utilize locally sourced materials in Africa. We have a fabric, for example, called Ashoke, which is basically a local loom woven fabric that we can use for the upper part of the slides. And then for the outer part, which is here, we are in talks with Indosol. We are looking into using recycled tires as the outsole, because a lot of tires are being abandoned all over the place, and so we can use that as part of the components for the outsole for the shoes.
Very good.
And there's always a lot of ongoing research around how we can keep working on more, eco-friendly, or at least helping to clean up the planet with the use of choice of materials.
Very good. Bernard says, I managed a footwear department for many years in the past. I like your idea, but what about being able to actually deliver large orders throughout America in 2022, 2023? So the supply chain issue, right? That comes up all the time, right? It's a real issue.
So in response to that, we have been in talks with a company based out of Portland, Oregon. They have worked extensively with very large scale brands. And they have the capacity to work with us on the supply chain side of things, because I understand that a lot of small brands, when they start up and they get a big order from maybe a Foot Locker or maybe a Target or someone who has quite a lot of scale, they tend to mess it up because they don't have the experience to ensure the Q&A and the entire supply chain process is managed. So we have a company that we have spoken with. They're called Zephyr Consulting. They're based out of Portland, Oregon, and they're ready to work with us on the supply chain side of things as we scale.
And another part of that is raising the money that gives us the firepower to go make big inventory orders for where we can get there. So, if this fundraising round is successful, that gets us faster to market where we could go with, bigger orders and have more products faster.
Very good. Anonymous says, would you consider Tom's your next competitor, given that it also has a social good perspective? What makes you unique from Tom's for a socially conscious consumer or customer?
Okay, so Tom's is actually the second competitor we put into the chart there. The first is that we're authentic, we're African inspired, originally Black owned. Secondly, our own approach to social, giving back is to work into sustainable projects. So we have a 1-for-1 for kids. So in Africa, who can't afford to go to school? So every time somebody buys a pair of Keexs, it helps us to keep a child in school in Africa for a week or more. And then on the tribe side, which are the consumer side, we also try to work with them on social projects in their own environment or in their own community. And therefore, we are trying to ensure that we achieve win-win on both sides of the divide, both for the consumer and then also for those who are the beneficiary of the poverty alleviation projects we're trying to do in Africa. And of course, as we continue to scale, we're also going into manufacturing. So that's job creation as well. Overall, we are basically a tribe-led and socially responsible at leisure lifestyle brand. That's where we're going to.
And I don't think Tom's quite in terms of like the product. Tom's for the social, they have a similar go-to-market message, but it fits a little bit different customer type. So when the story tracks parallel in some aspects, but then like the people who would actually be going to pick our shoes, I don't know if it's as much overlap with Tom's, even though the kind of messaging and how they go to market has a lot of similarities.
Yeah, I would agree with that also. You know, I don't know a lot about Tom's, but I believe they do the 1-for-1 with you buy a shoe, somebody gets a shoe, right?
Yes.
And what you're saying is you buy a shoe and we're educating children. That's not the same. But like because we know that if you educate them, right, then eventually they become you, right? They grow up and they manufacture something.
Same story.
Yeah.
Same story as who I am. I lost my parents at 11. I got raised by a community. I got educated, and now I'm doing this. So imagine the multiplier effect of being able to do that for other kids.
Absolutely. Okay. Sarah says, are those prices in USD and are prices consistent across all markets?
The answer to that is the Big Mac index. If you've ever heard of the Big Mac index, what it means is when you buy a McDonald's burger in the US, in UK, in Kazakhstan, for example, the prices will vary. So in Africa, people don't have as much disposable income as that of what we have in the US. So you're going to see a variation of prices in different marketplaces. But then at the minimum, there is a base that we can't go below, especially when it comes to the quality and the price point that we want to offer.
Very good. Anonymous says, did I hear clearly? Is there one founder or are there co-founders?
I am a co-founder. I have one other founder who is living in the UK. We both started the company together. The first time we started was on Kickstarter, and he's more involved on the supply chain side of things.
Very good. Bernard says, what are your shoe sizes based off of? As a shoe manager, many shoes we sold, the sizes was always based off of Asian foot sizes, regardless of the brand of sneaker.
Yes, so that is a very interesting question. And I would answer that by simply explaining to Bernard, if he understands the way the footwear industry works, the first thing you have to invest in is called molds for shoes. They are the most expensive element of investment you need to make. So what we need currently is, we've got sizing for the US, UK, Europe, and we've tried to create a blended average of those markets, especially from the fact that we started off from Nigeria. But part of the requirement for funding right now is to invest in molds where we can ensure that we have a wider array of sizes, from the half sizes to the full sizes. So over time, we intend to extend the sizing, but have a more US-centric sizing chart.
Very good. James, I'm going to ask you a question, but if you have another one, please put it in the Q&A. James says, I might have missed it, but are you in any stores now in the US? You want to cover that again?
Yes. So the first store that we're in is Fred Siegel. It's an iconic retail store in Hollywood. It's on Sunset Boulevard. They're over 60 years old. They retail Keexs. We've got Sneaker Asylum here in Conyers in Georgia. We've got The Spot in New York. We've got Nubian Human in DC. We've got retail partners in South Africa. We've got retail in Ghana. We've got retail in Nigeria. We've got a retail partner in Guadeloupe. And we are also about to round up our conversations with the Atlanta Village Market to also retail our products. So, we'll be having a meeting with them tomorrow. And as we continue to extend our product portfolio, we're going to be going for trade shows. We would love to get into places like Foot Locker, Journeys. Over time, all of this has to do with funding, marketing, and being able to have enough breadth of products to offer to the marketplace.
Very good. And if we are interested in buying anything today, we can go, and we're not in any of those places you just named, we can go to the website, right? www.keexs.com.
Okay, so I'm typing the name for New York. It's called The Spot. And I'm also going to share a link to where we have the locations in the United States listed out so people can see that as well.
Awesome. All right. I know where my New Yorker's going to be tomorrow. They're going to go to the spot. Nice. Ayana says, what agreements do you have in place with the tribe leaders? I'll read that first part first, and then I'll go to the next.
So what we have is basically like an influencer marketing agreement with them. We call them tribe leaders, but basically we share with them, we set them up on our back end. It's all automated. They get a coupon code. We give them marketing materials. We're also working with an agency out of New York to drive this. But it's all a structured influencer marketing type situation.
Very good. And are they equity partners or just getting an affiliate fee on the back end?
So we have a combination of both. Some of our tribe members have actually made reservations on WeFunder already. And I mentioned earlier on, we've got about $120,000 in reservations currently on WeFunder. I can share that with you guys if you want to see what the back end looks like, but that's what we've got, and we want to scale that up pretty quickly.
Very good. Dana says, when you say you will move manufacturing to Africa, will you be setting up production in West or South Africa? In Nigeria, both Lagos and VI are congested. Where would you manufacture if Nigeria is the choice?
Currently, we've got two options in Nigeria. The primary one would be Ikeja, and the secondary one will be in Ogun State in Nigeria. And I'll explain the scenarios to her. The first scenario is going to be our first low-level or low-scale assembly production unit, which doesn't require more than maybe 800 square meters in terms of production space. And then when we are scaling up, we already have a conversation with one of the state governments in Nigeria, the Ogun State government. They have offered us a school, a technical college that is relatively in abandoned shape, but has a lot of space, a lot of infrastructure that we can deploy to set up a factory. It's open space, and there's structures that are pretty big that we can use to scale our operations.
Okay. Crystal says, do you have or have you considered an affiliate ambassador type program? So I think that's kind of what his influencer program is, Crystal.
That's what it is.
Are you asking, will he do that for someone who is not an influencer? Is that your question? Like the everyday person, can they become an affiliate referral?
So our customers are actually our affiliates. A typical case study is somebody who I met in Bakersfield. I was in Africa, he bought our shoes. I was in LA for a trade show, and I went to Bakersfield. I met with him. He became one of our tribe members. He's generated almost $900 worth of sales for us as just a regular customer who is very passionate about the brand. He's not a big influencer, but he's someone who's a tribe member. And so those are the kind of people that we try to work with, not just the big celebrities or influencers, but it's going to be a mix and match of both.
And we get back to the code system where we give a code where the tribe member would get a revenue share. And then with that code, they would also, the person they give the code to would also get a discount on the website. So there's ways to make it attractive for spreading the message.
Mm-hmm. Wonderful. Anonymous says, I'm going to break this one up. Can you describe your market presence in the Nigerian or South African sneaker market?
Okay, so a lot of retail in Africa currently is highly unstructured. In Nigeria, I would say we beachheaded in Nigeria. We currently have approximately over 10 locations where we're retailing through. What you call your Target or Walmart in the US is called SPAR in Nigeria. And so we have our products retailing through SPAR. and there's another store called Rough and Tumble. And then we also retail through our e-commerce website. Keexs is the first innovative and social footwear brand out of Africa. In terms of Nigeria, we are the pioneer sneaker brand in Nigeria. The brand has gained a lot of significant features and relevance, from the CNNs to Forbes Africa to a lot of trade and fashion shows. We've participated extensively with celebrities. We've been featured in a lot of movies. So in terms of a brand recognition and presence in Nigeria, it's very, very strong. In South Africa, we are in 2 locations, and they're both in Johannesburg. It's in an area called Rosebank, the Rosebank Mall. There's a store called The Space and another store called Kisua. They retail the products as well. And we also have a presence in Ghana through 2 other stores.
Very good. The second part of Anonymous's question is, any annual growth sales or revenue in Nigeria that you can describe?
95% of our revenue to date has been Nigeria, because we beachheaded there. We've been averaging approximately about $90,000 out of Nigeria. Nigeria is also fraught with its own challenges, especially around inflation and the devaluation of the local currency, the Naira. So over the last 5 years, we've witnessed about almost a 300% devaluation. And that was why it became extremely important to diversify our growth, especially into the dollar-based market, the US-based market, where we know that we can scale up aggressively. And then with ample funding, even in the Nigerian and African market, we have to sell at a price point that is what the market can afford, and that comes with volume. So the volume productions would lower the unit cost, and therefore we can offer products at a more affordable rate for the local markets in Africa as well.
Very good. And I believe you answered this last part, but if you want to elaborate a little bit more, what type of brand loyalty have you created or you curated among the young people in Nigeria or South Africa?
In Nigeria, especially, the brand has reached what I'll call a premium affordable brand, and it leaves a sense of pride and excitement with a lot of people, because when you Google up Keexs in Nigeria, it's been associated with a lot of people, from the celebrities to the influencers to the movies to the fashion shows. All of the fashion shows in Africa, South Africa, Nigeria, we've been featured in several of these. So when people wear these products, as a matter of fact, you find a lot of them when they travel outside the country, they're also wearing Keexs because they want to show it off and say, because it's a great conversation starter. And that's where the name also comes from. KICKS is sneakers, what sneakers that peep, and Keek, K-E-E-K, means to peep. So there's always a story to tell about the product that you're wearing. And that, generates a lot of excitement amongst the youth and, the professionals and creative people in Nigeria.
Very good. Please drop your questions if you have any more. So what is your exit strategy, if you have one?
Our exit strategy is going to be very similar to that of Allbirds. We would obviously go through multiple rounds of funding. Allbirds raised about $253 million over a span of 5 years, went for an IPO in 2021, and they are currently valued at $4 billion. So we obviously will be looking towards an IPO type situation over time. Again, this is looking at a lot of the players in the same industry. It's very high, it's very capital intensive, it's high volume, high turnover type of business. And as you scale it could grow very fast. So you need to be able to put money into that growth phase and tap into the market as the demands start to grow.
Very good. Bernard says, question, are you presently selling your sneakers on thespotnyc.com? I don't see any sneakers at all on the website.
So The Spot has a physical store in New York, and they've got the products in the store.
Okay.
But it's not listed on their website.
Crystal says the products are stylish. Can you speak to comfort? Very good question, Crystal.
Absolutely. So one of the things that we invested in was the initial style that we came up with. It's called the cup sole design. And one of the great things about the cup sole is there's a space between the upper of the shoe and the sole. And this is almost like some sort of air cushion. And then we also have an insole that is removable, but also very, very durable and comfortable. Again, as we invest more into our products, we also want to upgrade a lot of the comfort materials that we'll be using for the products. And one of the key things that I mentioned earlier on, that we would like to invest in our own molds. And the molds basically determine the shape of the sole. So you would be looking at a higher heel drop. For example, if I could share my screen real quick with you, you would see that some of the new designs we have are moving more towards athleisure. And the focus of the heel and some of the designs is more comfort and, also being able to juggle between a fitness and just a basic active lifestyle. And so comfort is one of the major things that we're focused on as we begin to scale up our operations as well and product portfolio.
Very good. Nicole says, how will school fees be distributed?
So we have a partnership with a charity called Slum to School. It's a nonprofit organization based in Nigeria, and the partnership involves us giving them money for educating these kids. Currently, education is free in Nigeria for low-income people by the government. Unfortunately, a lot of the things that are required for school, the books, the clothing, the feeding, the psychological needs of the children are not being addressed. So a lot of them don't end up going to school because they don't have the means to do that. So Slum to School is the organization we partnered with. And so every time we give them money, it costs approximately 50,000 naira to send a child to school for a year. That's approximately $100. So every time a product is sold, we donate enough to keep a child in school for a week. And that's from the proceeds of Keexs.
Okay. Anonymous says, which item is your bestseller year after year, and why do you think that is?
One of our best sellers has been this Fela Kuti sneaker. However, from the recent trade shows that we attended one in Miami, we attended one in LA, and then recently the sneaker exit. The slides are going to be the biggest selling products that we're going to have because of the price point, and also it's a comfort wear. So we envisage this is going to take on the market across the world pretty soon, as we are launching this for summer.
Nice. Anonymous says, is there plan to produce a high top basketball capable shoe?
The answer is yes, but we're just taking our steps one after the other. The footwear business is capital intensive, and therefore the biggest hurdle for our growth at this point is funding. We've designed so many products, we've got so many ideas. Again, obviously, because we are trying to be careful not to show too much to our competitors, you're not going to see a lot of the designs of WeFunder, and that's why I've shown you guys a few of the things on the pitch deck. So we've got a wide array of products that we've designed, and over time, we intend to expand that portfolio with ample funding.
Very good. In the chat, Denise says that slide, she's getting that slide. She said it's gorgeous.
Thank you.
So the second point Anonymous said is that there could be major real estate potential with teams and leagues. And then also in the chat earlier, one of our members, Latrice, mentioned a company that we had on a couple of weeks ago, the Arena Football Association. They are also a WeFunder campaign, and I can make that connection. So they're starting a football league. That would be really cool to have all of the players. Cool. Yeah, so I wrote it down when Latrice said it earlier. So I'll make an email introduction later this evening. That was a great idea, Latrice. Anonymous says, do you anticipate being listed on the NGX? Is that the Nigerian Stock Exchange? Is that what NGX is?
It sounds like that.
So yeah.
So there is something called SPAC, Special Purpose Acquisition Companies, and that is the route that Allbirds took. Again, we decided to start from the US market because the entry barrier in Africa is very high. We don't have the Jobs Act like, it exists in the US. And so we've not had the opportunity to get access to funding. And therefore, we decided to come into the US to do that. And nothing stops us with proper funding to then go back to our home country and also get listed on that exchange. So I'm sure by the time we go through a couple of series rounds, we can definitely go to the Nigerian.
The path is more US focused and would
Yes.
be leading us to US markets if it can.
The key strategy for Keexs is global sales and distribution using the US as the beachhead. And then Africa will then become more of the back end in terms of the manufacturing as we continue to scale. And then, of course, with the local manufacturing, that would also make products more affordable for Africans to be able to take on over time. The biggest challenge in Africa is the level of disposable income, which will not allow the business to scale. And so we need to focus on a market that can give us that opportunity to scale.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. And I mean, we like the idea of global, right? That investors want to hear global. That's at least I do as an investor.
Yes.
Anonymous said, is your intent to move beyond footwear? I think we saw that in the slide. There's
We
some
said at
athletic wear
leisure,
there, right?
We said at leisure, and basically that cuts across everything that people need to wear to feel comfortable, sporty, fun, and comfortable. So it's all at leisure. That's the goal.
Very
at
good.
leisure and sports.
Very good. Ayana says, it makes sense that the slides are the best seller. They look comfortable even through the computer screen. It will give Nike a run for their money.
That's right. And again, it's authentic. This is local stuff. This is an African inspired design. And it's a lot of stories in here. It's got a lot of roots to it.
Nice. Stephanie says, I see Fred Siegel only has 3 sizes available in the Fella sneaker. How long would it take to replenish their stock?
Currently, we've decided to put a lot of emphasis on D2C. So we get a lot of orders from our website. Again, same challenge, inventory, funding, all of these things work hand in hand to be able to extend the reach of the products. So we've thought to keep a lot of our products in-house and sell direct to consumer. But we also just wanted to show and prove to customers and to investors, we have the capacity to extend into a lot of these places, but we need the funding to be able to scale those volumes.
Very good. So Chandra says, I'm going to walk over to the spot and take a look-see.
I see.
Nice, nice,
Yeah.
nice.
Mhm.
So Edward said, so we had another founder, Quayle TV, Black-owned streaming television.
Mhm.
And Edward saying, I'm thinking we should link Quayle too with Keexs advertising. So Edward, do they do like do they have commercials on Quayle or any marketing or advertisement? Have you seen that before on there? I'll write them on my list. I just don't know that I've seen any commercials kind of, but I'll write them down. All right. Any other questions, guys?
Shop
Yeah.
Black actually featured us over a year ago. If you Google up sneakers to support Shop Black, I think you. So yeah, it would be great to be on those platforms as well.
Yeah. So We Buy Black and Shop Black. We can make a Shop Black intro for sure. And we can actually make both those intros, but you said you've been on We Buy Black already.
We were featured on those platforms,
Okay.
on the Shop Black platform.
All right. Bernard said, where can I actually order online today? That's at the website, right?
www.keeks.com. A lot of the locations where we're retailing right now, like I mentioned, we tried not to, put too much stock in there because a lot of demand comes from our website as well. So we want to make sure that we're able to service those demands as they come. Yes, I mentioned the slide shows pre-order. That's absolutely right, because we only just concluded the market research 2 Sundays ago. This is a sample, and we wanted to make sure that we got feedback from consumers. And part of the feedback was we're upgrading on the comfort level of the sneaker, of the insole, to ensure that it's a softer, more enjoyable ride for customers. So we'll be dropping this in summer, and that's why we put it up for pre-order.
Very good. Shawnette said, I invested. I wish you all the best.
Thank you so much.
And I think if there was someone earlier, I didn't catch the name, but I don't even think you were finished with the presentation. And she said, I invested. Let me see that.
Oh,
I want to give a
nice.
shout out. Hold on. Let me go back up. I saw it, but then, the chat scrolls so fast, but I'm going to find that real quick. Because I said, okay. Sandrine.
Okie dokie.
Sandrine at 8:20. You were still talking. Sandrine
Right.
said, bravo, amazing. I already invested is what Sandrine said.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Wonderful. Any additional questions? Denise says, okie dokie, thanks. I'm liking the pair of black gym shoes too. Looks good. Congratulations. I'll be investing as well.
Thank you so much.
Gerald says, how about sizing for big guys? 3X, 4X? How about the sneakers? Will they work for heavy wearers?
So I'm a US 14, and this is the problem that I had, and that's why I went to Netherlands, lived in a sleepy town called Waalwijk, and learned how to make my own shoes. The challenge with the footwear space is we need to invest in molds. We probably want to do from size maybe 5 US to 18 or 20 over time to be able to accommodate a wider range of footwear. So it's all about being able to get the investment we need to put into those molds and then be able to create those bigger sizes.
Wow. As I hear comments like that, it makes me think, where's the solution for that, right? Where's the solution as to why molds are so expensive? How you get in that business, right?
So yes, so
how you get in the mold business?
Yeah, we actually thought about it. It costs $2,000 to create a mold right now. And the solution to that, so when you think of all the sizes, you're talking of 20 sizes, male, female, kids, easily you're talking $40,000 just to create molds. We need to be able to take that to Africa and begin to make those molds. But currently they're made with aluminum, and they actually have these cotton machines that actually cut into the molds. And these molds can last for maybe, I don't know, 10 to 20,000, rubber soles that you're going to create out of it. So it's actually like a metal piece. You pour in the rubber, it sets, and then you pull it out, and then you use that for the shoes. So those are the things that we want to do in Africa, but we have to do it in phases. So the first phase is assembly. And then once we drive up those volumes, we then can guarantee that the local investment is sustainable. Otherwise, we're going to be putting in huge capex upfront, and we still don't have the sales. So which do we do first, the molds or get the sales? And I think we should drive the sales home and then backward integrate to scaling up on the equipment side of things.
Very good. Crystal said, I'm in. James says,
thank you so much, Crystal.
James says, yes, good question. Very good. And it looks like Diana says, I'll be investing and will also be informing family members to do so also.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Good. Any additional questions? Okay, Gaia said, I did mine already. Bernard says, what are the sizes you have on the website based off of? I order a size 11.
So we have sizes up to size 14 currently. The molds we're using right now are not, they just, open market molds. We need to invest in ours. We tend to run a little smaller than usual. So depending on the style that people order, sometimes you might have to take a size up just to ensure that, the fit is right. So this is part of what we need to invest in right now, the molds. Very critical, especially for the new designs.
Nice. Pamela said, I ordered my slides, pre-ordered them, and she's about to invest. That's what's
We
up.
need to
y'all,
start a mold company. Definitely. Definitely. We'll do some R&D in Africa. Maybe we might end up using clay to make molds or something. But yeah, it's definitely a big deal. But beyond the mold, there's also the rubber making. And that
Mhm.
is like, literally baking bread in an oven. There's a chemical composition to it. There's the rolling pins. There's a lot of machinery that goes into these things.
Wow.
Yeah.
Stephanie says shopping and investing. I love the idea to get the baby school feeds met. Yeah, that's an awesome social component. It really is.
Yeah.
Edward
Thank you,
says, is the
Stephanie.
mold memory foam? No, so you said it was metal, right?
So the mold is aluminum. It's imagine a cast, a
Okay.
metal. So imagine a block of metal, and then you have this machine that cuts into it the shape of the sole. So when you cut that into it, the rubber is melted, it's poured into it, it sets, and then they pull it out. So that's what I'm referring to as a mold. So it's an aluminum piece. It's a block, and you need to have one for each size. So if you have 20 sizes, you need 20 molds.
20 molds. All right.
Yeah.
Lorraine says, so if I'm a 10, I need a 10 and a half. And yes, I already invested.
Thank you very much. Our customer service would always work with you to ensure that you get the right fit. So you'll be fine.
Good. Very good. Any more questions? Great engagement tonight, guys. Any more questions? Y'all had this chat lit up. All right, I'm going to give my closing. If another question pops in, I'll stop and I'll read it. First of all, I want to thank so much to both Jide and Josh for coming and blessing us with this amazing opportunity. Thank you very, very much. And we wish you, continued success on this journey. I am not a financial advisor. The 10K project, not financial advisor. So we can't tell the community, go out and invest today, right? We don't do that, right?
Right.
But what we do is, we expose them to campaigns like yours that we believe fit nicely in a portfolio, right? And so if you are in the community and you're watching this evening, or once you watch the replay, you feel like after doing your due diligence, this fits in your portfolio, then, we want you to act accordingly. But more importantly than even that, and I know when I say that, sometimes I peek over and the founders sometimes like, what's more important than investing? But what's more important than investing is sharing this campaign, right? So it's more important that 5,000 more people see this campaign so that Jide can raise all of the funds that he needs to do all of the things that he talked about this evening, right? So please take the time and share this campaign, put it on all of your social platforms, text it to your friends, right? Let them know that they need to look at this and consider it. We're always talking about wanting opportunities that cover the continent of Africa, right? That do companies that do business in Africa, or companies that originated from Africa. And this is an example of that, right? And so, now's the time for us to really, really share, right? I can't say that enough. Please take a moment and even do it now. Just share it a couple of times while I'm still talking and giving our goodbyes. And when Jide comes on and start talking, just start sharing it. We put the campaign link in the chat throughout the evening, so you have that. If by chance you can't find that link, that's okay. Send them to wefunder.com and they can type in the search Keexs, right? And so don't worry about if you lose the link. Don't not give it to somebody because you lost it. Just send them the WeFunder. Okay. All right. With that said, I am going to turn it over. Josh, you want to say final words before we send it over to Jide to close us out?
Thanks, everybody. We appreciate your time. And yeah, no, I just, I'm inspired to work with Jide. He's tireless. He's working hard for shareholders, and doing well and trying to build something. And yeah, thanks for the time again, and have a good night.
All right, sir, the man of the hour. How do you want to close this out?
All right. Well, thanks, Joanna, for putting this together. I'd like to thank every single person who has been on this presentation. It's been an absolute pleasure sharing the brand story, sharing the vision. Thank you for all the investments. Thank you for all the questions. We're constantly, going through an iterative process of taking feedback and, constantly trying to improve on every single thing that we're doing at Keexs. We cannot thank you enough. Please keep sharing. Thanks for Josh for joining. Josh has also been an amazing support to Keexs, especially as we navigate the waters here in the United States. I'm from Africa. I just got here, but Josh has been extremely supportive of how we are able to navigate that space. So thank you, everyone. Keep sharing, and look forward to having you guys when we do our IPO. I'll be sharing with you guys a newspaper article that I put up on the vision board talking about our IPO. So you remember, guys, you're a part of this journey, and look forward to seeing you on the other side of the IPO.
I love that. I absolutely love that. I'll say one last thing. I know he was supposed to have the last word, but something popped into my head. So, we also post campaigns in our social media platforms. And so it would be awesome if all of you, when we post the campaign link, just put a little comment in the chat, right? So especially all of you who invested, you don't have to tell your business on the live, right? This is private, so you don't have to tell all your business, but just kind of big up the brand when we post, so that can also gain traction, because with the algorithm, right? Unless we all say like it or thumbs up or whatever, then other people oftentimes don't even see it. So for all of you that are here and that are going to watch, once we put that link in the Facebook group and on Instagram, if you see it, just do a simple comment or like it or love it or whatever, so that more people can see it. All right. Thank you so much, everyone. We appreciate you. I appreciate this community from the bottom of my heart, with my entire heart. You guys are making a big impact in the lives of founders like G-Day. So keep up the good work. You are the real MVP, and have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your week. And we'll see you next week, Tuesday, 8 p.m. Good night, guys.
Thanks, everybody.
Good
Bye.
night. Thanks, everyone. Bye.